Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today I've got the good fortune to welcome back a repeat guest, Erik Huberman, CEO of Hawke Media, the highly successful marketing agency known as your outsourced CMO that's helped grow over 3,000 brands worldwide and is valued at over $150 million. And that number is probably out of date. Erik, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. I'm excited to have you back. So last time we talked a little bit about what Hawke Media does, how you got started, all of that stuff. I want to do and of course we talked about the awesome book, The Hawke Method. I want to do a deeper dive for our agency owners who are listening to this, and to a certain extent, anyone who is selling business to business. You have an incredible machine running that, if I heard you correctly in our last off-camera conversation, was driving dozens and dozens of high-level clients every single month. Did I write that down right?
Yeah, we're doing about 50 new clients a month.
Okay, so 50 a month is amazing. Most agencies probably may not get 50 in a year. So talk a little, let's walk through that, because I think that's a fascinating case study. Who's the ideal target market? Who is that system targeting? Who's it going after for you?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about our business is like accessibility to great marketing was really what we tried to build this off of. So like we wanted to proliferate that. And so we never wanted to be the ones that just said, hey, we only work with the Fortune 500 now, or, we only work with SMB. Like we want to, if we can help a company, we'll help them. And so really it's any business that's really looking for marketing help, we want to find a way to help them. So it's a pretty wide array of companies that we work with. And it's been about 5,000 sort of decade to date.
Well, that is absolutely incredible. I understand that you're trying to cast a broader net, but those ads are targeted at certain people, right? Certain business sizes or certain industries.
Well, that's my point. No, not really. We try a bunch of different industries. I mean, we've always been very prominent in D2C and CPG and consumer brands, but we do a lot in software. We do a lot in the agriculture industry. We do a lot in hospitality. We do a lot in medicine. So it's actually pretty wide. And what my own marketing team is doing consistently is finding the least path of resistance. Where does it make sense to spend our money? Because it's where the demand is right now. The example I'd give is 2 years ago, direct to consumer and e-commerce just went into a winter. And so did the venture capital backed world. So let's not go down that path. Let's go find other industries that are actually interesting and, continuing to thrive. And so it's always a moving target in that sense. And that is the job of our marketing team.
Awesome. So I appreciate the clarification that you're casting a broader net and you're industry agnostic. Obviously, you've got different tiers of service. Is there a revenue minimum or employee minimum that you're kind of going after?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, honestly, if a company doesn't have $10,000 a month to spend on marketing, they shouldn't be hiring anyone. And so that's where we start, because I just don't believe that anyone will have enough. And that's not fees, that's budget. If you don't have that level of budget, you are not a real business yet. And you need to either raise money or you need to go drive some revenue to be able to afford that. That's my opinion. And what I've seen coming from my experience, like you need enough of a war chest to be able to create statistical significance on your marketing so you can actually optimize and build and grow. Throwing $1,000 in a marketing campaign is a waste of money. Like, don't even bother. You're not going to go wide enough. You're not going to reach enough people. So that's my view of it. That's why we start there. It's not like we're too good for this. It's just that's where I believe a company should start. So that's the lower end of that, and then kind of goes up from there.
Absolutely. So thank you for the clarification. That makes a lot of sense. Now, to educate all of our marketers or marketers who are business owners or marketing agencies who are watching or listening, what is the bait that you're tossing out there? What is the front end of that funnel of that customer acquisition process?
Yeah, so that's where I think most people in our industry get caught up. They think of they're trying to trick people into working with them, if that makes sense. You use the word bait. Like, it's not bait is in terms of how we think about it. There are things that we are putting out there to try to get people to come to us, but the idea is, and it comes from a philosophy that I teach to our marketing and sales team that we talk a lot about. We are not trying to reach people that don't know that they need marketing. That's not my job. I don't want to teach someone that they need marketing. And there are ridiculous people out there that will think that marketing is a nice to have in business, not a need to have. And I always tell them to go look at the Fortune 2000 P&Ls because they're mostly public, and tell me how much they're investing in SG&A. Like, incorrect. But at the end of the day, we don't want to reach those people. We want to reach people that know they need marketing. So if that's the case, if I'm reaching someone that already knows they need marketing, my job is not to tell them why they need marketing. My job is to explain why us over everybody else. They know they need it. So they're going to hire a person in-house. They're going to hire another agency instead of us. They're going to find freelancers. There's so many different options. Why are they going to hire Hawke Media? And so then my job for the past decade, and continues to be, how do I build credibility out there and enough awareness that everybody goes, well, if I'm going to hire someone, it's got to be these guys. And so that comes with a lot of different tactics. But when you get focused on what those tactics should be, it just is about making sure people are aware we exist and then explaining why we're the best. And that becomes a much more targeted approach. And so when you say, what's the bait? It's really just displaying case studies, third-party validation, awards, success metrics, momentum, differentiators, technology enablement, all the things that they go, wow, like when they're talking to us versus someone else, they go through the list of all the things that create value that we talk about in our value proposition. And then they look at the competitor and they go, oh yeah, of course I got to work with these guys. That's the job. And that's really where it comes down. And then you mentioned the targeting side, like that. I mean, and to be clear, like we do drive a lot of business and a lot of leads through inbound marketing and through advertising and running Facebook ads and TikTok ads and Instagram ads and Google ads. That is a piece of our business. But a lot of it is creating great content that people share. It's, creating great brand awareness. We have a best-selling book that's sold over 30,000 copies on marketing called the Hawke Method. We have a TV show that just launched last week on Hulu called Kings of Barbecue, where we're helping Cedric the Entertainer and Anthony Anderson launch their barbecue brand. We're doing all this brand awareness stuff that helps with top of the funnel. And then when people go, what's Hawke Media? And they look us up, they see all this credibility and go, oh, if I need marketing, I got to talk to these guys. So, my goal is, I know that we're not the only option in town. In fact, when I started this, I thought it was insane that there were 24,000 digital agencies in the US. Fast forward to 10 years later, there's over 90,000. So there is a ton of options. Most of them are crap, to be clear. And I just want to make it really easy to differentiate between us and them. And then the rest, like there are some other good agencies out there. If they choose them over us, that's going to happen. There's going to be cultural fits and things like that. But at least I want to be in the running and very clear on why we're one of the best, and then go from there. That's really the strategy there.
That makes a lot of sense. I got to ask, Kings of Barbecue on Hulu. I will check it out. Do you and your team members make appearances on the show?
Oh yeah, no, we're on like half the show.
That is absolutely awesome. How did that come about?
I got introduced to one of the producers like 2.5 years ago, or I guess now 3.5 years ago, about, no, that was right the first time, 2.5 years ago, about a brand they were trying to launch with a celebrity. And we didn't end up going with it. But then a year and a half later, she calls me and goes, hey, we're filming the show. We've got Cedric and Anthony, and we're doing this barbecue thing. And we want to see if you want to be on it. And we also want you to like actually build this brand with them. And I was like, sure. Like, what stations do you think you're going out to? Who's financing this? Like, I kind of went, like, living in LA, you do get these kind of knocks on your door a lot. And usually it's just someone with an idea that's like, yeah, we got some celebrities. Let's go film a show. And it never actually goes anywhere. And she stopped me. She's like, no, Eric, the show's already launching on A&E in a couple months. We're filming next month. You're the last piece. Do you want in or out? I'm like, oh, yeah, yep, I'm in. And that was how it happened. Super fun. Filming with those guys was fun. Some of our executives were on it as well. And the brand's done really well.
Well, congratulations on that. I'm sure there's some marketing lessons to be shared
from
that process. What do you talked about case studies, about making people aware of you, about showing them why you're different. What do you think differentiates you guys?
Yeah, I'd say number one, I mean, in a serious way, we spent 8 years building our own AI technology called Hawke AI that we're digesting 8,000 companies' marketing, media, and revenue data in real time. And we're able to optimize an individual company based on how the market's moving. No one else can do that. Like, end stop, no agency has that technology but us. And I think that is one of the most impactful things to be created in performance marketing. I call that conceited, but like, I actually think we have created something very powerful, and we're currently hiring a team to potentially go to market with it outside of just using it as a differentiator for ourselves. It is robust. And so that's number one, is that whole, sort of backbone of the company that allows us to be super AI enabled. And then we also are very tech integrated. We've invested in almost 100 different MarTech and ecom tech companies. So when you talk about Klaviyo, Postscript, Tapcart, Fairing, Superfiliate, Intelligems, Instramatic, like all these sort of Shopify marketing tech ecosystem businesses, we're owners in it. We've been there from the beginning because we invest very, very early. And so we're very tech enabled and integrated. And why that's important is I believe these days creative can be iterative, and where you really win is in tech enablement and efficiency. And so having all that technology access and having that sort of DNA in technology, I think has really given us an advantage. And then we've been doing this for 10 years. We've worked with almost 5,000 brands. We've been bootstrapped the entire time. Most people can't say that. So we've had a lot of success there.
Well, congratulations on that. It's been an incredible run, and I can't wait to see what you do next, which segues into our predict the future conversation. You've been at the forefront, cutting edge of all things digital and AI.
Yep.
Where do you see the puck going in the next couple of years?
It's now redundant, and everyone's like, this is the first time I've seen one of these hype trains that I actually believe in a long time, where it's like AI, I think, deserves the hype. I really do believe, like, I hated when I heard crypto people say it's the next internet. I'm like, stop it. Like, it's interesting, it's innovative. It's not the next internet. Not every company in the world is not going to have this as a part of their systems in the next decade. Like, will they have a little holdings in Bitcoin? Maybe, but like, no, not everyone's going to be on the blockchain. With AI, I think when I hear about an AI company, to me, it's like kind of like saying an internet company. Like, imagine like the .com days where it's like it's this .com. Like, it ends up not being that interesting. But what is interesting is I think every company will leverage AI in some way. And that's what I've thankfully known this was coming for 8-9 years. So we've built our differentiators in that with Hawke AI. I think human adoption is slow, so people do have more time than it feels like. But I do think over the next couple of years, you're going to find more and more efficiencies using AI. You're going to be able to outpace other people if you're one to leverage it and they're not. And I do think that it's going to start to create a bigger gap between the successful agencies, and I'm speaking specifically to agencies, successful agencies and marketers, and unsuccessful if you're leveraging it. I think it's just a no-brainer. You've got to start doing this. That being said, I also watch a lot of people are chasing the shiny object right now, and they're trying to make their whole day leveraged by AI. And my favorite metaphor for AI is, imagine it's just an army of 17-year-old interns. Like, it's not replacing high-level thought. It's great to have a bunch of work done, but you still need to have quality people. This doesn't just change that for you. So it's on, and maybe that'll get better and better and better, but it's going to take a long time.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
Growth. That's really what's driven me the past decade at Hawke. Is I love doing new things, exploring new things. This is personally and professionally. Like, I'm an adventure junkie, a travel junkie, all that stuff too. So like, on the professional side, if we're not growing and building and doing new things, it's not that exciting to me. So to keep it exciting and engaging, I'm always looking for I like that things are changing. I like that we have to keep on top of things and we have to shift. I don't want stability. That's where I get really bored and frankly anxious. So I'd rather things moving and growing and building, and that's what excites me.
50 clients plus a month. What type of team does it take how many leads do you have to go through? How many appointments do you have to have? And then how many staff people have to be there to take care of all of them?
Well, we got 220 people, but on the lead side, I don't have that offhand. Qualified opportunities, we need about 300. That's about the math. It's 1 in 6 or so from a qualified op. I don't really focus on the leads as much, because on the lead gen on the like advertising side, super important, obviously. But for most of our lead gen, I'm more focused on that second step of the funnel. Like, I don't really care if they made 30 phone calls if none of them turned into quality opportunities. Like, so I really hold our people accountable for qualified, not just random conversations.
Awesome. For our folks watching and listening who want to learn more about the AI program, the book, and all things Hawke, where is the best place for us to send them?
HawkeMedia.com is an easy one, HAWKE Media, or I'm on every social @/Erik Huberman.
All right, this has been Seth Greene with Erik Huberman of Hawke Media. Erik, thanks again for coming back.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.